Yeah, back in the swing of things. Excited about the bowl season and everything that comes with that. Um, Obviously, taking care of their bodies for the first week or so. Not very long practices, kind of in and out, working on your fundamentals, getting some young guys some reps, and taking care of the older guys. But obviously, super excited about playing a really good opponent. I have a ton of respect. For how they're going about their business and the team they're building, and great opportunity for them to get into a bowl game. And anytime you play a Texas team in Texas, that's kind of been our deal the last 2 years in the bowl game. Obviously, you get great crowds and a lot of interest, and man, great opportunity for us. And we fought, extremely hard, and a lot of hard work went into to get into this opportunity. So I know we're gonna play hard and prepare in the right way, and so a ton of excitement for our guys, and so we're just really excited to get this opportunity and another opportunity to go showcase what we're about on national television, and so yeah, just super excited.
Yeah, with these bowl games, sometimes it's up in the air where, like, where the conference or which bowl game you might get sent to. But, like, how happy does it make you feel like for the third straight year, y'all are still going to be playing in Texas?
Yeah, extremely happy, and a lot of credit to Don and Keith in the Sun Belt, getting us into a really good bowl, and we're really excited about this one. We didn't know really, we heard multiple things, as the weekend started. Friday and Saturday it changed a couple of times, but super happy with the Armed Forces Bowl. A bowl that I played in 2011, so I know kind of what it's about, and the quality of bowl it is, and man, just really excited. Um, yeah, it's a great opportunity for us.
Coach, what's the next month going to look like for y'all in terms of developing young players and preparing for the bowl game?
Yeah, that's really what it's about, is the extra practices to develop those young guys, then also get prepared for a really good team. Obviously, they present a ton of issues in all three phases, specifically on offense when we're down, defensive coaches. So, they're going to be prepared. They do a great job over there. Got a ton of respect for what they do. So, but we're excited. I know that being 2-0 in bowl games. That's what I tell the guys all the time. These bowl games are only fun when you win them. So, we got prepared the right way.
Was the last time you played them at the First Responders, Bowl? Now you play them over here, How much fun does that make it for you guys playing a familiar opponent, but
Yeah.
they're kind of hunting for you guys after
Yeah.
what happened last time?
For sure, yeah. Different coaching staff and obviously different players, but I think for us, anytime we get to play an in-state opponent, whether it's North Texas or Rice or UTSA or any of those teams like that in the American, I think there's a extra maybe rivalry or whatever you want to say. We're definitely excited, and we got a bunch of our guys ready to go and fired up for this opportunity.
Coach, y'all parted ways with defensive coordinator Dexter McCoyle and defensive line coach Mike O'Quinn last week. Can you just talk about what went into that decision and what you'll be looking for in your next defensive coordinator specifically going forward?
Yeah, obviously that's the tough part about this business, and tough part about the chair that I sit in. First off, those two guys are unbelievable people, unbelievable coaches, and I take a ton of blame for what happened this year on defense. Man, we played really well at times, just not consistent enough, and this is a production business, and both of those guys are going to go on and do great things, and really love those guys and care about them a lot, and a lot of thought went into it, and just felt like it was the best move for Texas State. But with that being said, man, I know those guys, what they're about and their character, and they're going to land on their feet. Both of those guys are big time football coaches, and I mean that. And just it's tough. Obviously me and Dex go back a long way, and we're extremely close. So that one obviously for me was really tough.
Yeah, like you said, obviously tough decision, but, like, why did you think, like, the change needed to be made at the very end?
Yeah, I think just just some new ideas, fresh scheme, just production. We had too many opportunities to win games, and we didn't. And like I said, a lot of that blame goes on me. So don't necessarily blame them, just more of a fresh scheme, fresh faces.
And just kind of looking at this Rice offense, obviously a very unique offense. Was Coach able what they're trying to do, like especially with like kind of like a triple option type offense. But like, what do you? I know we're kind of days out before this ball game, but like overall, what do you kind of expect to see from this very unique offense?
Yeah, I need to dig into it a little bit more. Obviously, I've been, trying to retain our players and working on the defensive hires and all that. But I know the staff's been looking at it, and we worked on those guys for 4 or 5 periods a day. So, I'll have a better answer for you as it goes. But obviously, I know, the scheme that they run and the type of personnel they have is going to present challenges.
Brad, Chris, and Bo all announced that they were coming back, this past weekend. What does that just say about the program you've built here? And do you think that's going to encourage more guys to return knowing that, you got those 3 really important people back in the program?
For sure, yeah. We'll have a couple more, announcing they're coming back here shortly. And man, I think they love Texas State, first off. They love Texas State. They love the opportunity that's been given to them. We've been super loyal to them. And, I think there's something to be said when you're a starter and the production that those 3 guys have had and the type of people they are. And I think the type of, people they know that are coaching them and the culture and the great opportunity they have going into the PAC next year. And, it was really, before I could even get to those guys, it was Brad, kind of rallying the troops and getting his guys back. And obviously that's super important. And like I said, man, Brad is a special player, and Bo and Chris are definitely 2 guys that have personal relationships with myself and their coaching staff, and Texas State means something to them. So I think just the excitement that brings, the momentum that's going to carry going into the PAC next year is going to be huge for us. And just like 2 years ago, all the expectations, all the things that'll go into this offseason, when you got a guy like Brad coming back and Bo and Chris, those 3 will be the 3 of the top players in the country and 3 of the top playmakers in the PAC. So I think it just kind of puts everyone on notice, like, hey man, Texas State's coming into this PAC, coming to compete for a championship.
Yeah, obviously, getting one of those 3 guys was going to be huge. But like, how massive was it to get all 3 of them for them to stay?
Yeah, it's huge, and working on a couple of linemen right now and a couple other pieces, man, and a couple of defensive guys, and if we can keep this core nucleus, together, man, we got a chance to go do something special, and it kind of goes in waves. It really does. We got hit harder than anyone in the country last year in the portal, and to keep those guys back, and a lot of credit to the administration too. In this day and age when everyone's talking about not having this, not having that, Don and Kelly have really stepped up and trying to help us. Obviously, we need more. You obviously always need more. We're not where we need to be. We're not where we want to be, but we're continuing to push that, and I'm continuing to push that to take care of my players and my coaches.
Coach of the year's here, and 3rd straight bowl game for this university. How proud of you are of that?
Oh man, super proud of that. I mean, I don't ever like talking about like what was here previously and all that, man. There's been some really great coaches, really great players that come through here. But I think for us coming in, taking a job where, at the time, like I said, I didn't even know they'd never been to a bowl game, and so having that, the first thing everyone says is, hey, talk to me when you get to a bowl game. And now, third straight year of going to a bowl, we're 2-0 in those bowl games. So just a lot of credit to the great coaches that we've had here, great players. I mean, we had 2 coordinators win their division, Mac and Coach Packey calling plays at Texas Tech and Duke, and man, we've had and Coach Prado's done a great job in New Mexico, and we've had a bunch of really good coaches in here too. So it's not just me or these current players and coaches. Man, we've had a bunch of really good players and coaches come through here, and man, that's going to continue. We're always going to bring good coaches in here and have good players. And now that we're going to the PAC, man, the sky's the limit. I mean, we got a chance to do something really special next year. So that's what I'm excited about. Send these seniors off the right way, go win another bowl game versus a Texas opponent, and then start preparing for the future.
Yeah, when it comes to player retention, like, what's your message to a lot of these players that why just for them to continue to stay at Texas State and try, especially when this program's going to kind of like a new era heading
Yeah.
into the Pac-12.
Yeah, I think the Pac has a lot to do with it. Playing, great universities and great teams and great coaches. But I think a lot of these guys, they love Texas State. They really do, and they like the production. I mean, we're going to produce on both sides of the ball, and then offensive. Obviously, look at Bo and Chris and what Brad did this year, man. It's hard to find that out there, and other guys have left here and tried to find it, and they didn't find it. So I think they've seen that too. Sometimes losing guys, it hurts at the time, but it's great data to refer back to and kind of see how these other guys have played once they left here. And I think they took that all to consideration, and we were able to pay them a little bit and keep these guys here. And like I said, they love it here. And they love kind of what we got building, and I think they know this year didn't go the way we wanted to, but I think they know Coach Kinne's going to get it right, and we're going to go have a chance to compete for a championship next year.
What do you think you're looking for in your new defensive coordinator?
Yeah, I think for us, we've talked to a couple really good people, and I think I want to be, a little bit more multiple than we have been. You saw a little bit of that in the last couple of games with the 3-down stuff, and I don't think you can live in a 3-down. One, you can't recruit D linemen in that, but you got to be able to have the ability to hop in some 3-down stuff and still base out of a 4-down, be aggressive, and really it's about a scheme fit, but probably more importantly the person, who that person is coming in here, how they treat their players, what they've done previously, whether they've called it at another stop. I'd like to have experience. I think that's important, but at the end of the day, it's just going to be about the right fit for Texas State and the right person.
Are you preferring to bring someone from the outside, or are you considering promoting someone else from within?
Yeah, considering all options right now. So we'll see what that looks like.